Carl and Brendan here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's reaction video time. Checking out the Withering of the Flesh by IXION, an atmospheric metal band, I think. What I know.
Yeah, atmospheric doom collective.
Oh, the word collective. That's always an interesting one. Still needs a band, doesn't it? I'm never too hot on when that's sort of described because it's like, well, still a collection of people. Stop being silly about it. I don't know really anything about this band, so I guess you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I reviewed this. This was an EP that was released mid-April.
Yep.
Been around a while, these guys. French band, fifth studio album. This is now, I have mixed feelings on this thing. However, in a way, I'm glad because I got to listen to this first. So this is an EP that's been released.
Yep.
It's part one of an album that will be released later in the year. So it's going to come as 3 EPs and then be released as a full piece at the end of the year. It's not that abnormal now. Very progressive, very melancholic. It is atmospheric doom in maybe a more traditional sense of doom, I guess. Like, it's not necessarily one guy hits a bass note and then we all sit there for 4 minutes.
Right,
there's a bit more going on than that. The collective thing's a weird term in this because there are only 2 of them. There's a guy called Julian Pratt or Prate, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, who does all instrumentation, and a guy that does vocals called Yannick Dilly. So it's it feels a bit more like a project maybe than a collective, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, it came out a few weeks back. From what I understand, they're a popular band, but I don't know a lot about them outside of this because I've never really listened to them, is the truth. But Seasons of Mist are part of the label, that and Finisterian Dead End, which from what I understood is a French label that picked them up originally, and they've stayed loyal to the Season of Mist are there in the background too, which is a big label to be on. So they're obviously doing good things. Been recognized in that way. It's got like 4 or 5 tracks on the EP. The EP itself is called, all right, let me get this around the right way. So the EP is Extinction.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember that because when they sent it to me, there was the EP name and then the album name that will be at the end. But anyway, the album's called Evolution, or will be, and the EP is called Extinction. Yeah. I'm not always the biggest lover of things that might be called progressive atmospheric doom.
Yeah.
I'm not always not either, but I checked it out because I fancied listening to something a little bit different. Thought it was absolutely phenomenal. There's all the tracks on it are absolutely, for me, mesmerizing. This is probably my second favorite one on it, chosen because it's the only one that's got a video.
Okay.
I haven't seen the video, so I don't know if the video is related or anything like that. But musically, yeah, I'm interested to see what you think.
Well, atmospheric doom with progressive touches it's right up my street. Obviously, I'm more of a doom fan than you are, and certainly love a bit of atmosphere in my music. But yeah, let's check it out in 3, 2, 1, go. Cinematic one. such an idiot. Ooh, she's a ghost. Spooky ghost. Don't. Come on, man. It's been miserable enough already. I feel like they're implying that at the end, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said about 5 minutes into that, I finally clocked that it was about a specific thing and not what I initially thought it was about. So that's why I said I'm such a fucking idiot. So I was like, oh, they lost a child and they're sad, and like that's, you know, like that's like the swaddling blanket and stuff like that. And then I started to think about 3 minutes and I was like, oh, is it like maybe it's him because like he's in the background and like doesn't seem to be interacting with her. And then they basically spell it out right at the end, and it's like, well, duh, obviously, hence the sheet is smells like him and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's a miserable video for a miserable song. It very much is that. It's, I mean, it's what the word melancholic exists for.
Yeah.
On that front, I mean, they know what it is. It is heavy on atmosphere. I mean, it really, really is. Not just on the melody side of things. It's just the oppressive feel of how it overall, even when it hits the sort of heavier, doomier parts, never really gets heavy at all. It is way, way based within melody more than anything else. It has, for me, a problem that's balanced out just enough by something I do really like. So I think it's a little dull overall. I think it's a little dull and it's really slow off the ground. And I wasn't too convinced by the initial clean vocals. They almost sounded like they've been fucked around with in a studio to a degree. I'm not sure that's just my hearing and based off like the melody kind of blending with the vocals, because it's not so much like the vocals are clear, it's almost like they're mixed in with that melody. So I think it might have just been more that. But when those vocals are harmonizing, particularly as they are on the latter part, harmonizing it together, they're a lot stronger as well. Because it wasn't like I was waiting for hear some guttural vocals, but you know, because I like the fact that they're more whispered here than say shouted, and it's not about being heavy. It's still supposed to be a subtle thing, and the harmonization in relation to how the song's story is makes a lot more sense as well. And I liked it a lot more than that. But I am struggling to kind of find where the hook is, because it's not really one or thing or the other. I would struggle to recommend that to someone based off taste. So like a Doom fan wants to hit, no, oh yeah, like I'd be like, look, it sits in Doom, but I don't know if you're gonna really like it. And when you said at the start, like the more traditional Doom, right? I actually get where you're coming from that now. You know, that cleaner side of Doom, the less distorted and fast and attempts to be heavy. It definitely feels more like that era than anything else, but it's a definite struggle to put it. But likewise, I'd struggle to put that towards somebody who's like, oh, well, it says it's atmospheric. Does that mean you kind of get like I'd be like, yeah, it is, but it's so melodious. I'm not sure you're going to love that.
I played it to somebody who I work with and said, and the way I categorized it for them was by saying, hey, do you want to hear a song that will make you feel sad?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very much that. It is. Here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. Or a lot of metal is miserable. But rarely do you find something that's quite as egregious as this. Now, what's really interesting is, as of the time recording, last night I watched a movie that I really didn't like because it was one of the most miserable things I've ever seen, to the point of mean-spirited and frustratingly miserable. Like that's, so, you know, like I didn't like it because of that in that sense. This song would have worked in this fucking film. It would have, like, just, you know, like it's downbeat depressing. And while, yeah, like, but with that comes beauty. Like that's the thing, with that comes beauty. Particularly when you get a melody like this, there's no way you can listen to it and not at least think, okay, that is a very pretty, very attractive, like song that you could play to a lot of people and from different walks of life and then recognize that same aspect of it. I think it's so genre bending that it's uncategorizable, almost uncategorizable to a degree, and that makes it difficult to kind of pinpoint. It's one of those, I wonder what's around it. Like, you know what's around it,
Mm.
but is it all like this?
In tone and feel, yes.
Mm,
There are songs that are, well, I'm not going to please you, cheer you up here, but they're darker.
yeah, okay.
There are songs that are darker. I wouldn't say at any point it gets what we would traditionally call heavier.
Hmm.
You know, there are songs that lean more on that deeper, growly vocal. There are songs that have a bit more tempo to it, but not much. Like, you know, that kind of core melody with that clean vocal kind of tone, that is the thread that runs through it.
Yeah. I'm torn on this one. I am torn on this one.
That's all
Like,
right. You can be torn on it. I mean, I mean, you said the words that which are the reasons why I like it. To be honest with you, and that's just maybe a personal taste thing, which is surprising, but maybe not because, as we said at the beginning, I don't love Doom and atmospheric Doom or many versions of Doom. I like
mm,
some, but I don't. Whereas I find this track, and you did use the word, I find it to be utterly beautiful. And for
yeah,
for me, when it was, maybe it's a headspace thing, right? You know, because when I start listening to something that's called an atmospheric doom track, I go into it expecting it to hopefully be good, but I'm probably going to get bored. And then things happen in this song that surprised me. Like I was listening to it with its kind of nice tinkling piano melody, with its gentle, sad, somber build up, and
yeah,
I was expecting it to change, and it didn't, and that pleased me. I was also expecting the vocals to come in and be of a certain style. And when they came in and they were higher and cleaner, I was surprised. And all those surprises were pleasing to me because it wasn't what I was expecting. You know, whereas like you have much more affinity for other music within Doom music. So,
yeah,
yeah, I'm coming into it going, please don't be like that. And then it wasn't, and I'm pleased. Whereas you're coming into it wondering, I don't know, maybe based on the name. I don't know, maybe the name puts us subconsciously in a place like it is difficult to me because I look at that and I, you know, if somebody argued to me is like, if that was the only song I'd ever heard of this band, are you sure they're a metal band? I'd be like, well, I'm pretty sure they are.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the feel and the weightiness of the feeling is there, and that's what makes it Doom. It's almost
Uh,
like the feeling is Doom rather than the genre.
there's an argument to say at its most basic, Doom is often miserable anyway. Like, it kind of
Correct, yeah.
comes with it when you're throwing in a level of atmospheric to it as well. With these, I say, we've not touched upon it too much, but it is. Uh, the word progressive is a dangerous one
Mm.
in like because it can be attached to so many things, and what does it really mean? I tend to dissociate progressive with complexity more than anything else. And I would argue that this necessarily doesn't showcase that, but it is progressive in the sense that it doesn't fit any particular genre and it moves through swaves and it can be, on one hand, really appealing, on the other, very unappealing. Like, that's a really weird fucking thing to get in a particular track. It's it is good. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to say it's not good. It's just the
Something
word
can be good
dull
and you
came
don't
in my
like it.
head. Yeah, the word dull came in my head, and I was like, I'm not sure. Particularly the first minute and a minute and a half. I think it gets. I think it's a grower. I think that's what it is. It's a
Yeah,
grower
maybe.
more than anything
I
else.
find you know, for me, like you can appreciate a song and not love it, and that's completely
Yeah.
normal. For me, I find this song ticks a lot of boxes for me, but like the different style of boxes, you know, like when I've had a day of, you know, I've played my favorite 10 Melodeath tracks for today. I find this song, its sadness, its reflectiveness, its melodies to be quite soothing and calming in a sad way. I find it to be very beautiful, and it's like it's a different thing that I listen to. I have tracks like this, not this one in particular, but other tracks like this, which are quite different to the style I normally listen to.
Mm,
But they just, I don't know, one thing you can say, and it has done here, is it's generated debate, which I think is
yeah.
a cool thing. I think if they were, and I assume they were based on the video as well, attempting to invoke a feeling of sadness in the listener,
Yeah.
I think then they've absolutely achieved that. with the video and with the song itself anyway. And that's what I listen to it for. I don't listen to it to make me sad. I listen to it because I think it's quite beautiful and cleansing almost.
I get your thinking, and there are many times where I'm in the mind space for this. I almost wonder, and I already mentioned it as well, but is it just bad timing for me more than anything else? Because I did just watch a movie that was so fucking miserable, it made me angry. So the fact that I've now got to listen to a song that is so goddamn miserable, that it's not making me angry. This is making me go like, man, can't people just play happy music for once?
Hey,
be happy.
You know, maybe this song had been played to you without the video, you might have taken a slightly different stance on it. I mean, the thing with it, at the end of the day, like whether you do or anyone watching this, you know, the EP's got like four and a half tracks in it because there's like one sort of intro sort of thing on there. You know, it's worth checking out and seeing if as a package you start, you know, it synchronizes more with you. Obviously, what I've done is I've reviewed this, so I've listened to it end to end.
Yeah.
And then taken what I've taken out of it from it as a whole. And then, like I said, this isn't even my favorite song on the album. It's my second favorite. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
But I think there's enough in this band there that, like, when I listened to this, it intrigued me enough to be like, oh, okay, this wasn't what I was expecting at all. I enjoyed that. That's different. I'm interested to hear more. So.
As always, it's a fascinating conversation as we try and get into the feelings that sometimes it's difficult you want to express, and it's difficult, but we get there in the end. That is the Withering of the Flesh by IXION. What do you reckon? Where do you sit in this one? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.